This episode is rated O for Out of Control. Ahoy, hoy, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The O Show. I'm O, and I'm here for your amusement. Okay, so, y'all, I just seen the creepiest movie ever, and I love it. I'm going to talk about May 30th release of Bring Her Back. Okay, so, y'all, I had to look up to see, who the hell thought of this movie? So this movie is brought to us by the Philippou. I think I'm saying their names right. The Philippou brothers. And turns out they're the ones that did the movie Talk to Me. They came out a couple years ago. Which I actually really liked. There was only a couple of things I was like, wait, what? But other than that, I really did enjoy Talk to Me, right? So now I leave this movie theater and I'm just creep the fuck out. But in a good way. I really had a good time watching this movie. I love horror movies where they don't rely on jump scares, you know? I know I said before, when you watch a movie, there are these badass kids who need their ass whooped, I just want them to die first in the movie. Just fall down the stairs or something. But I think that's the thing about this movie is there's a lot of shit that's happening that you don't expect. And when it happens, you're like, oh my God, that's fucking crazy. And then you're like, oh my God, that happened to a kid. So, insane. So this movie stars Sally Hawkins. And I was like, where do I know this lady from? So, and then it dawned on me in the movie, she's the lady from The Shape of Water. She was the one who fell in love with the creature. I know I've seen her in other things after that. I think she's in one of the Paddington movies. How many Paddington movies did I see? I know I didn't see the last one. But anyway. So that's her. So then there is an actor named Billy Barrett? No, Billy Barrett or Barrett. So anyway, Billy plays this character named Andy. And then you have a girl named Sora Wong. And I think this is her feature debut. And then lastly you have a character or an actor named Jonah Red Phillips. And he plays the character of Oliver, aka Ollie. There's a couple other people in this movie, beginning and ending, but really the movie is focused on these four characters, which I really kind of like. So look, you guys, I'm not going to spoil the movie 100%. Meaning I'm not going to tell it from beginning to end. I think you really need to check it out for yourselves. If you dare. If you are a fan of the Saw franchise about the goriness and craziness, this movie's for you. If you can't watch someone's skin being pulled from their body. A lot of practical effects, by the way. But if you can't stomach, skin being pulled from someone's body by themselves, you're probably not going to sit through this. I'm just telling you now. Okay, you guys, but basically what the movie's about is there's this unfortunate death in a family of these step siblings, right? So you have Andy, the brother, you have Piper, the sister. Okay, they're step siblings. Andy's white, Piper's Asian. I'm gonna bring that info up later. But they of course have to go to the foster system because I think Piper must be 13-ish. Around there, 13, 14. Now Andy is 3 months away from being 18. So when they go to the social worker, she's like, I'm going to put Piper in his foster home. And he's like, well, no, I got to be with her. Right? Because note, Piper is blind. Okay? So the actress in real life has a condition where I think one eye is completely blind, but she can partially see out of the other. But in this movie, she's blind, but she can still see shapes and light. Right? So he's like, well, no, I need to be with her. I need to be with her. I need to be with her. And so the lady's like, well, I'll ask the foster mom, but you're going to be 18 in like 3 months, so you could just partition? You can apply to be her guardian. And so the lady says, okay, I'll take them both in. And that's when we are introduced to Laura, who's played by Sally Hawkins. Now, right off the bat, you know something's up with her because she's just too nice. She's just too weird. Right off the bat, she's lying to Piper. She's talking about Oliver's hair is red and curly. So Oliver is the other boy who's already living with Laura. Now, he's the little boy you see in the trailer who's turning around looking all crazy inside this empty pool. So anyway, damn, I really can't reveal too much, but I mean, you kind of see it in the trailer, but there is some shit going down where you're trying to figure out, like, the movie Bring Her Back, like, who's bringing who back? Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that before I go into my spoiler questions. But that's pretty much what the movie's about. So like I said, it doesn't really rely on jump scares. It's kind of like body mutilation. Which I do like, because I'm really tired of movies where someone opens up a door and then they close the door and someone's standing behind it. We know. We get it. Stop doing that. But there's a really good use of sound in here. Like, there's sometimes you're listening to like, there's no music really playing. I don't remember music being played, but I remember the sounds, and you're just like, what's that? Like, you hear it doing one thing, but the next is like this other thing. So I really do like that. Okay, it's really good. It's really good. However, in true Orpheus fashion, I do have questions. So, if you're good up to this point, I'm going to rate the movie right now. I'm going to give the movie 4 out of 5 shots. Okay? I thought it was good. I would give it 5 out of 5 for the questions I'm about to ask now. But it was a really good watch. And I have seen a lot of horror movies this year. Like, I've seen, let's see, Peter Pan, The Monkey. Now, Sinners was really good. You know what? That Wolfman movie that came out this year, it's streaming now, and I did watch it. And I was going to talk about it one day, and I don't know what happened. That movie was... And then, recently, I saw that movie Longlegs from last year. Well, not recently, it was last year. I was going to do it for my Halloween videos. It was getting, like, good reviews, and people were saying it was super creepy. So I got the Blu-ray, and I was going to talk about it, but then I watched the movie, and I was like, I don't like this movie. Not that I don't like it. It's okay. I thought it was going to be more, and Nicolas Cage is super creepy in that movie, but I don't know. I just wasn't satisfied when I got to the end. Now, watching this movie, it really did remind me of, like, I don't know, the little boy reminded me of 28 Days Later. The overall movie is giving me, like, Hereditary vibes. Because in that movie, you're very uneasy, and shit happens. Again, childlike violence. And you're just trying to piece together, like, what is happening with this demon? There's always a demon. And that's what I was getting from this. But I do like the story. I like where they were going. I like the concept. However, I feel like there might have been little holes here and there in this story that I just didn't feel were answered for me. So that's it. So, overall, I really enjoyed myself. I left this movie pretty satisfied with what I watched and how I felt, because I was squirming in my seat. There was a man next to me. He was 2 seats down. Real tall man, you guys. Like, he was like probably 6 feet. He didn't fit in his seat. Like, so, y'all, and I tell you, this whole movie, especially when shit was going down, half the time, like, his head was like this. He was covering his face whenever something crazy was happening. His long ass legs, he was wearing shorts, so all I see is his legs. And he was just like, his legs were going up and down because he just felt so uncomfortable. Really good theater reaction. It was it wasn't full. It wasn't even half. It was just spotty here and there, but there was still a lot of people in our theater. But yeah, when needed, we all laughed when needed because it was funny at some points. But yeah, when that horror happened, you could just hear people just going, ugh. All right, cheers. Okay. All right. So if you're leaving this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next episode. So TTFN to you. But if you are sticking around for my spoiler questions, then let's get into it. First of all, did Laura target this family? So I'm trying to figure out this whole time frame of this ritual that's happening. So help me out if you figured it out, because I was kind of lost. So she has that VCR, right? She's watching the tape. So this is where we're getting like, okay, she's watches tape because it seems like she's going to do what's happening in this crazy, crazy black market video. She has Oliver there. Now, Oliver seems to already have something like in him at one point. So, and at one point I could have sworn that Laura said to Andy that she killed his dad. And he was like, what? And she was like, what? And I was like, wait, did I hear that? Or maybe I'm wrong. I definitely do need to watch this movie again. I really want to watch it just to see some things in the background and maybe some stuff I watched or missed during my first watch. So the dad dies in the beginning. And which seems to immediately be sent to Laura. Like, usually when you watch a Foster movie, there's like paperwork and a time frame for this kid to go into the system before just being sent to a home. And right away, they were like, you're on this home. So I was already confused, like, wait, that was a weird process. Like, the dad didn't even get buried yet, but she's already being placed in a home, and we're having this conversation, and then it just seemed like it was like the same day. Was it the next day? It didn't seem like they went to this home like super quick. So alright, before I even get into that question, so at the funeral, Laura's doing that creepy thing where she's like, kiss your dad. It's a tradition, kiss your dad. And then she kisses the dad, but then she takes a snippet of his hair, and then at one point she has to feed the hair to Oliver. But I didn't get the whole hair thing. What was the point of the hair? And did it have to come from the father? Like, why is the hair that she's feeding to Oliver coming from the father? If that had anything to do with her doing what she's doing to Piper, Piper's not even his blood. Piper's a stepdaughter. So that threw me off. Like, what? And what is she wearing in this funeral? She is looking like 80s glam in this purple sweater and these big earrings at a funeral. Okay, so okay, are y'all with me? Am I correct? Like, let me know in the comments below. Like, what is happening? Because later on, she takes Piper to the that center for her to play. Has Piper been there before? Because then this lady's all like, I want to talk about Piper and her black eye and booby dooby doo. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out, like, what is the significance of Piper being her target? Because I really do feel like Piper's being targeted. Now, we all know that Kathy's blind. Piper's blind. But if she's trying to put Kathy into Piper's body, is she going to pass her off as her daughter? Because like I said at the beginning, like, Piper's Asian. Is she just... But that, again, don't know. I don't know. Maybe she's just going to still say this is my foster daughter, but really it's Kathy. But yeah, does she need another blind girl? She couldn't just put Kathy, who was blind, You could just put Kathy's like whatever into another girl, which again then leads me to this time frame, because if you already have Oliver, and I don't really know if they say like what year this is supposed to be, but Oliver's missing poster, did it say how long he's been missing? I just don't know this time frame. When did she start this whole ritual? Did she start it when Piper came into the house? Because Oliver, who's still weird, wasn't looking like death yet. But then there obviously has to be a demon that has to go into Oliver, which is there when Andy is watching him and he does that shit with the knife, and then they cross the border, right? So y'all, another thing too before we get into that, you would okay, obviously Piper can't see, so, but I would think that Andy would still be like, "Where's Oliver? Where's Oliver? There's another kid in this house." Because when they went to the funeral, that means Oliver had to be like locked in his room the whole time, right? When they came back to the funeral and had their whole little drunk, messy episode, how come no one was like, "Where's Oliver?" He was still locked in the room. And then she takes Piper somewhere and tells Andy, "Okay, now stay here with Oliver. Don't let him out of the house." But he's locked in the room. So of course Andy's like, "Are you locked in your room?" And then opens the door, pops the lock. But how come he's not like, what in the child abuse is happening? Like, what? I just don't know why there's not a lot of questions being asked in this house. Especially when you have a free spirit like Piper. How come she's not like, "Where's Andy?" Or not Andy. "Where's Oliver? Is Oliver here? Where's Oliver? Where's Oliver? I want to sit with Oliver. I want to talk to Oliver. I want to play with Oliver." Like, that kind of drove me crazy too. Okay. The two things I thought were going to be a big part in this movie were Andy's car mirror. Like, there's this big scene. I mean, not a big scene, but I mean the camera's just right up at the car mirror where we're seeing his mirror is broken on his car. He's trying to tape it up. And I was like, oh, maybe this mirror's going to play a big part later in the movie. But no, at the end, like when he's driving off, the mirror falls to the ground. And then never comes up again, right? So I was like, oh, is the mirror supposed to symbolize something? I mean, I think it showed something like, well, I don't remember if we even seen something, I don't know. I thought it was also probably going to do like I know at one point when Andy is videotaping Oliver outside, and he doesn't see this, but us as the audience do if you're looking at the camera, but you do see that Oliver's like a demon. Like there was like, I think there were horns and he was red. Obviously not in like standing in front of everyone, but in the camera was capturing him being a demon. So I thought maybe like a reflection was going to happen in this mirror, and I don't think it did. But then the other thing I was trying to figure out was these beads on Piper's door. So Piper's room, big room, but instead of a door, she has these like 70s beads hanging. Like, who does that anymore? But they're not even like little beads, they're like big beads. So whenever like Laura like looked in, these things were loud and made noises, right? So there were a couple of times at night Laura would be peeking in, and not just peeking in, like she would like move the beads and you hear it. And one thing I always hear from people, like on TV, I don't, you know. But anyway, one thing I hear about blind people is that, you know, your other senses are heightened, right? So I thought for sure there are going to be times where someone's like creeping and looking, and like Piper's going to look over and be like, I heard this, I heard that. Like, who's that? Who's there? And just kind of foil like Laura's plans. But it never did. Like, especially when Laura beat the shit out of her and whacked her in the eye. And then she goes running out of the room. Although that was awful, by the way. That's not funny. But Laura just goes right out of this room. So yes, obviously someone was there because, you know, you got hit. But I just don't understand like the need for these beads. Why Why does it have a door? This is weird. Also, what is the deal? That's my Jerry Seinfeld. What is the deal with the cat? Don't let the cat outside. Oh no, bring the cat back inside. Did the cat die? Whatever happened to the cat? I know I got into the hands of Oliver a couple times. I don't remember. Did something happen to the cat? But anyway, why couldn't the cat go outside? Is she just for just saying it? Like, don't let the cat outside? I don't know. Did we need a cat? And I don't feel like the cat played a part in this movie. It was just meowing around the house. Especially when Oliver was like banging on the door that one time. I don't know. Alright, so anyway, let's go back to this ritual mess. So, how long has Kathy been dead? Okay, we find out she's in the freezer in the shed thing in the backyard. But, anyway, in the video, by the way, in that video, did y'all notice there were like subtitles on the screen? I feel like that video was made like in the 80s or something. Like, it seemed like it was like an old ass like something. At one point I was like, wait, is this a DVD? Because there's no subtitles on VHS unless it's like made with the tape. So did someone put subtitles? Because it helped us. It helped us learn that, what is it? The host has to host this thing, and then it has to eat the dead person's body, and then in order to put that person's soul in someone else, has to spit it out in a vessel. It's kind of like that movie, The Kiss, I reviewed back around Halloween. In order to pass this thing onto something, he has to puke up this thing and put it in the other person's body and whatever. But in the video, they were showing that the host was eating the dead person's body, right? They had to consume it. And they were eating a lot. Now, in this movie, she's telling Oliver he can't eat. So I'm assuming she's making him starve until he's able to eat the body. But again, like, when did this start? Was this thing inside Oliver the whole time he's been in her house? Or did she start it when Piper got there? Like, I don't know. Okay. But my point is, when Ollie's eating Kathy, what did he eat? Because when he walks away, walks out, it looks like he's like 9 months pregnant. But when you look back at Kathy's body, there's a lot of body still there. I mean, unless, I think her eyeball was, the socket was eaten, but that's not going to cause you to have a big ass belly. I felt like there should have been more. But also, too, how are you eating this body that's been frozen? I thought maybe they would have like unplugged the freezer and then and then Laura like grave robbed the body, because didn't she tell someone, I think Andy, like when her daughter died, it was like months and she couldn't leave the grave or the cemetery or something like that. But now all of a sudden the body's in the, I mean, she is a liar. Like, she told Piper that Oliver had red curly hair. So I guess you can't trust everything she says. I think that's it. I think those are all the questions I had. Like, that was the stuff that was not piecing together for me. Oh wait, there is one more thing. So then Oliver at the end, right? So we see that when Andy's trying to take him to the hospital and he crosses the border, like, the boy just like loses it, goes crazy, and there is something in him that needs to come out, right? And what's that border made of? Is it paint? Because it's raining a lot on this house. It can't be salt. Oh well, she's painting the pool. What was the pool? What was the paint the pool for? Anyway, is it paint? Is it waterproof paint? I can't imagine her like constantly repainting this, because we don't see her repaint anything. But like I said, it's raining a lot. But anyway, at the end of the movie, Oliver crosses over the border again, and then this thing, I guess, comes out. I don't know where it went. And then when the cops find him, he's all like, I'm Connor Bird. But how is this boy alive? You done ate wood. You've eaten bodies. You like your body is like gone through so much mutilation and harm. I don't know. I just feel like he would be alive for a few seconds and then just not take all the shit his body's been through after all this time with some demon in your body. That's it. That's this. I'm not gonna ruin the movie for myself. Like, it's still a good movie, but then and I really did like that concept, but then I just got confused just with the timing and why is it taking so long, and like, do you need to do it on a certain day, and why pee in a bowl and then keep making Andy think he pissed his pants? I know she's like gaslighting the boy, but I thought the pee was part of the ritual, but no, she's pouring it on him. I was wondering why the hell he was peeing his pants, but I guess it wasn't him after all. I don't understand. So I'm going to definitely watch the movie again. I'm going to watch it maybe 2-3 times just to kind of like maybe I'm missing it. Maybe the first time around, I'm just more trying to figure out like, ooh, what's going to happen next? And then they throw you off with all the horror and body craziness. I need to just go back and kind of like focus. So anyway, that's my review of Bring Her Back. I really did have a lot of fun. It was icky and creepy. Again, let me know in the comments below what you thought, or if you have answers to my questions. Like, I really want to know because I want to enjoy this movie more. Because I will be purchasing it once it comes out. So, anyway, you guys, I've already set my stuff at the before the questions. So, I guess I will see you all in the next episode as well. So until then, TTF and